Hi everybody, it's Richard. Christos Anesti. I'm here to thank you for your ongoing show of support for ages. Since we told you about the difficult choices we might be facing, all of you have made a lot of gifts, a lot of phone calls, and sent a lot of texts and emails in order to help. And Father Seraphim and I are grateful beyond words. About 50 of you have set up monthly gifts totaling close to $2,000, which is about 20% or so of our monthly payroll. And that makes a huge difference for keeping Ages liturgical ministry going throughout these unusual times. Between that and other one-time gifts, plus finally getting our PPP loan approved, we've been able to stop the clock for now. Enough at least to give us time to figure out how we're going to keep it stopped. If you haven't yet committed to make a $30 a month sustaining gift in support of Ages liturgical ministry, I invite you to consider doing so. You will help Father Seraphim and me to keep producing bilingual service texts and scores for the entire year, and you will also support the other things Ages does. Our ongoing text translation and musical composition, our musical and liturgical educational efforts, our development of new distribution technologies for members of the congregation, clergy, and singers, and much more. If you think about it, perhaps invite a friend to support Ages as well. Since we've been able to buy enough time to regroup, we're going ahead and working on the scores and services for the summer and early fall past the end of June. You'll see those posted soon. Meanwhile, there are also a lot of new and revised scores that Father Seraphim has posted throughout the Pentecostarion period. Make sure you refresh your media so that you can always have the latest and greatest. Now, towards the end of Lent and throughout Holy Week, I was doing online mini tutorials, and I'm going to get back to those, I promise. But today, I want to do something a little different as a way to say thank you. I want to share some pictures and recordings of a place that I have been blessed to get to visit twice in the last 2 years, and that I hope to be able to visit again once we're past all this current strangeness. And that place is Constantinople. In both 2018 and 2019, I had the opportunity to visit Constantinople for Ages-related matters. Long story short, we want to represent the liturgical tradition of the Ecumenical Patriarchate as faithfully as we can, and simply implementing the Imerologion is only one part of that. It's also important to make connections with the people so that we have a living link to the Patriarchate's practice that helps make sense of the instructions in the Big Red Book. In July of 2018, I had some really wonderful conversations with people at the Patriarchate about Ages ministry, and I was given a lovely tour of the grounds by now Deacon Michael Javris, and was shown a great deal of hospitality. And I was also able to attend a full round of weekend services at St. George, with His All Holiness Patriarch Bartholomew as the celebrant, and sung by the patriarchal choirs, led by Protopsaltis Panayotis Neochoritis and Lambadarios Stelios Flikos. That Sunday in particular was a very long morning because they were ordaining a deacon and a new metropolitan of Switzerland. But it was the kind of model of liturgical beauty that reminds me why I work in church music, and it was worth it in every way. And I'll say that I made a point of checking the digital chant stand for the day against what they were doing in the Patriarchal Chapel, and we checked out. Anyway, I stood in a stall right behind the left choir and recorded all of Orthros and Liturgy. Here are some of the pictures and audio. real 1-2 punch of that day, though, was that after services at St. George, I was able to spend the afternoon at Hagia Sophia. I had walked over there my first night in the Poli and seen it from the outside. I was not prepared for how huge it actually was, seeing it with my own eyes. When I got to go in 2 days later, the first thing that happened was a second or two of vertigo crossing from the relatively low-ceiling narthex into the nave. I mean, that shift of scale is so sudden and so huge, the bottom drops out of your stomach for just an instant. Pictures don't really do the experience any justice, but it's what I have. So here are some of my favorites, with more audio from the liturgy that morning. I was able to visit the Patriarchate and Hagia Sophia again a little less than a year later, in June of 2019. This time, I was blessed to have an audience with His All Holiness Patriarch Bartholomew, joined by my friend and colleague Alexander Lingus. We spoke about the Ministry of Ages and some of the broader issues related to English language worship and Byzantine chant, and His All Holiness was very positive and encouraging about our work. And he expressed interest in helping raise awareness of English language chant activity at the Patriarchate. We'll see what happens with that in the long run. Those trips amounted to just a few days, but they helped broaden my perspective in a number of ways that I really would like to help others understand. Now, there's only so much of that I can do in a short video like this, but my hope is that, God willing, I can go back for a longer stretch, and that there will be other opportunities to share these experiences with more of you. Thanks for watching, and thank you for supporting Ages. We'll talk more soon. Bye.